might not be many people around here. I know it's Monday. Everyone's working or studying. But I was having thoughts in my head, and I thought it's a good time to just get it off my chest. Good morning, Mahdi. So I'm just going to type in the topic that I'm going to be talking about. Sorry, not talking. Slip of the tongue, pronunciation error. Okay, so I want to talk about my thoughts on the learning methods, and feel free to type in what you think as well. Happy to hear your thoughts. All right. So it was triggered by people resisting learning grammar and people resisting following this approach. Okay. And I think I know the reason why. Well, firstly, I think it's because grammar approach was overly emphasized in the past. So people went too, hey Kian, thanks for joining. People went too crazy for it. Like it was seen as a safe sort of place, just sitting and doing grammar exercises, you know, understanding the theory and just practicing in your notebook, never speaking. Okay. And honestly, it happened to me in my French class. So I love grammar. And I went to my new teacher. I said, can we please focus on the grammar? So the way I teach it in my course, I said, can you explain to me the tricks, the tips, the shortcuts, the sort of the logic that unites some parts of the grammar and helps understand it better, as well as common mistakes. And she went, sorry, Maria, you know, I'm of a generation where we were told forget grammar, don't teach it, don't worry about it. Of course, she explains very well. She's a great teacher, but she doesn't have that strategy. And I thought, oh my God, why do we keep on doing this? And with my student in a class, we went, surely we should use a combination of approaches, not just the one. So I think these days the overemphasis by some teachers is just on communication, only speaking, all right? And you will build your confidence, okay? You will start to, you know, find it easier to speak, and that's what you want for communication. But you're never going to improve your accuracy. And I think rejection of the old completely in favor of the new is not the best way. We need to use a variety of learning methods and approaches. There isn't one best way. So, for example, in the past, I think it was 40s, I was just looking it up to check the decade when it was relevant. It was the 40s when the drilling method was introduced, when you're literally just repeating words to memorize them. And there's nothing wrong with that, to do that sometimes, okay? Kian said the method we should adopt depends on the context. Okay, would you mind to elaborate on that? I mean, I can do it for you if you want, but you might have thoughts of your own, which might be similar or different to what I'm saying. Direct method, I'm not sure what is a direct method. Guys, don't get bogged down with like learning the names of the approaches. It's more important to understand them in principle. What do they actually mean, right? Because at the end of the day, as a learner or as a teacher, you need to understand the principle. So I can look it up, the direct method. Okay, so 1990 soldiers, military drill. So that's the drilling method. Okay. So it's just listening and repeating, repetitive. Yeah, listen, repeat, and repeat. Again, you know, it might sound silly sometimes, but sometimes to memorize and to stick something into your brain, especially as you're cramming for exams and stuff, and you have to learn so much vocabulary. You cannot just use the immersion method where you just immerse yourself. I mean, partially you can do it, but if you're under time pressure, you must memorize tons of words. You know, this method can work. So maybe that's the context that Kian was referring to. Different classes, different learners. Yeah, I mean, it depends to an extension to a learner thing, but I think any learner, you will need a variety of approaches. And I think it's great that people are losing their inhibitions more and more. I see more people just go, I'm just going to speak to people and enjoy myself. And that's great, but if that's the only method you use, you're never going to improve. So that kind of brings me to the immersion method, where you must immerse yourself in the culture, in the country, to start speaking. And yes, just because, you know, I mean, yes and no. So, you know, plenty of people live in, for example, in the UK, and they never learn to speak English properly, or they never go beyond, you know, intermediate, maybe upper intermediate level, because it's enough. You know, so immersion level can only take you so far. And I immerse myself in French. I listen, read, watch things, and yet I'm not getting better at speaking or actively using the language. Why? Because I need vocabulary that I can actively use, because I need to understand the structures they use. For that, I need to know grammar. I need to know how to construct things properly, what it does, what this grammar helps me to express, and how to put it together. I need to know that. How on earth am I going to just listen and just start reproducing the same thing? Not going to work, guys. Honestly, I also have a student whose comprehension level is probably advanced, but speaking wise, more like intermediate, with lots and lots of basic mistakes. Because you need that practice. You need that fundamental knowledge of grammar. And, you know, when I go to grammar, I think a lot of people cringe. Even the French teachers that I tried taking lessons with cringed when I said, can we do grammar? They went, You know, so what can I expect from my students? But honestly, the way I recommend using grammar isn't just exercises. It's, for example, if you have a speaking partner, you know, say, okay, let's practice talking about what happened at the weekend, last weekend. Yeah, so let's try to use all the tenses, like past simple, present perfect, past continuous, you know, all the tenses. Let's try and put them into practice and see if we can correct each other, perhaps. And then let's talk about what we're going to do the next weekend and use a number of future tenses, for example. Or let's talk about what you used to do, but you don't do anymore. So put that into practice, right? So grammar applied to practice. Okay, grammar doesn't just sit in the books, it comes alive. But honestly, also I was quite shocked by how many people voted themselves as C2 level a little bit before, you know, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks ago. Time flies, I'm losing track of time, guys, I'm sorry. But they voted themselves as C2 level, and I was thinking, you're not C2. Like, I didn't want to burst their bubble and make them feel bad. But I was just like, when you speak or write, you make B1 plus level mistakes again and again. You know, occasional slip-ups are normal for natives or even fluent speakers, but constant mistakes, you're not C2 level. I mean, just because you got a piece of paper of exam telling you have a C2 level doesn't mean that you do in reality. Honestly, majority of native speakers don't have C2 level, you know. So be realistic with that as well, I would say. And the problem is when you brand yourself a C2 level, you don't want to keep going back to the basics because you feel you are beyond that. You are above that. And I think that's a really dangerous thing to do because, well, you tell people you're C2, but you're not, and you don't sound it. And you are just fooling yourself, but you're not fooling people who truly know what the language is supposed to be like, right? The fluent or the natives, they will know you're not C2. So please don't tell people you're C2 when you're not, okay? Just because you got it on the exam. Exams are not full comprehensive test of your knowledge. Hey, Valerie. Do you like to record my show? Great. So I have a new service on my website. You can check it out. If you want me to correct your video, for example, correct mistakes, give you, tips on what to learn, what to focus on, you can send me your video and I can do that for you. So check it out if you're interested. Okay. So that's basically, I think, all I wanted to cover today. I keep getting this black heart on my face. Good morning. So guys, what methods do you use? So I was speaking. Just gonna read the comments. So I was speaking, but feel free to let me know what you think are good methods, bad methods, best methods. I don't know what worked for you, what is working for you, what isn't working for you. Let me know, please. Okay, so just gonna go back to the comments and make sure I haven't missed anything. Mumin Ahmed, sorry, long name for me. I've been studying English for more than 2 years. I can understand. I can't speak. I can speak, but not fast. Is there any way to enhance my speaking skills to be a fast speaker? So I would say don't go too don't get too obsessed with trying to speak fast. Okay. It is a nice thing when you can be fluid and not be stuck. I mean, the question is, why are you not a fast speaker? Are you getting stuck because you're reflecting on your grammar or vocabulary, or are you just, it takes you time to pronounce the words properly? So I think it starts with that analysis. Why are you a slow speaker? And slow isn't always bad, I don't want to pick on any nation, so I'm not going to say, but there is a nation that thinks speaking fast is the way. They speak so fast. I've had complaints from my students from different countries saying, I don't understand them. I work with them, I do not understand them because they speak so fast, but the pronunciation isn't always correct or standard. I mean, what is correct? Standard, not clear. So don't think that speaking fast is the demonstration of fluency. I mean, how slow are you and why are you slow is my question for you. Okay? I don't think I've skipped any comments. If I have, let me know, please. Speaking fast is not... okay, Kian, I'm not sure about the method, but I believe immersion is a game changer. I think at a certain level, yes. And I think, what immersion are you talking about? Are you talking about recreating immersion at home? So even if you're not in a native speaking country, you could just turn on, TV and radio and start reading and start put all your devices in English language, set them all in English language and, speak to people as much as possible. What is immersion for you? I mean, that works to an extent, but you still need to go back to the basics of learning vocabulary, learning phrasal verbs, revisiting grammar parts that are tricky and that you need to focus on again and again. Okay? Valeria is saying speaking fast is not a good method. Yes, exactly. I mean, it depends how slow you are. I mean, maybe you need to speed up, but you shouldn't be stressing on speeding up, right? Stressing out about that. You should be focusing on the why, right? The core fundamental reason. Why are you too slow as you think? Maybe you're not. Sometimes I think the way we perceive ourselves and the way we come across can be different, because I sometimes think I'm speaking super slow in my videos that I create for Instagram, for example. I'm like, oh my God, I was so slow. And when I listen to myself, I speak quite fast, and vice versa. When I think I'm speaking fast, I record myself and I'm like, why am I speaking so slowly? I think perception of yourself can be, deceiving thing. Deceiving as in it's not what it is. Yeah. So how you see it is not what it is in reality. All right. Hey, Ali. Great point. Which one? I'm talking forever. But I hope I'm giving you good advice, useful advice, I hope. Rafa says unclear. What is unclear? Pronunciation? Kian says exactly. Valeria has to run. See ya. Thanks for dropping by, dropping in and sharing your thoughts and commenting. As always, being an active follower. Hi, Reza. Any other thoughts, guys, or questions about the learning methods that you think work, don't work, work for you, work for other people, something you've been told never to use, you know? And I think that's another thing. If some teacher told you, don't do that, never drill, or never look at grammar, or don't open your mouth before your grammar is perfect, they are all wrong. Sorry. And I think, we get to, as teachers or as learners, we get to attach to a particular method because it worked for us. For example, I love songs for learning languages and I recommend that. But I know it's not going to work for everyone because not everyone likes singing along or listening to the same song 100 times like I do. So you have to challenge what someone told you is the right or the wrong thing. You need to find what works for you. Give a try to different methods and don't just discard them because they might work for you today, they may not work tomorrow. It depends on the level, depends on what you're learning for, depends on what you're trying to remember. I keep remembering again and again, a teacher on Instagram, I shouldn't have said she, but super fun, great teacher in different ways, but their advice was, don't try to understand third conditional. If I had finished, I would have done this, right? Or if I had done this, this would have happened. And their advice was, why do you want to understand this grammar? Just learn in context, pick it up, hear it, and just repeat it. But I'm sorry, how are you going to just hear it and repeat it and not understand the structure and then change it for a different context or with different words if you don't understand that grammar? How? That for me was just, I don't know what they are advising. I don't get it. I think you can, to an extent, learn by, just hearing and repeating things. They say that's the baby method. The babies learn like that. But guys, you're not a baby. How can you learn like a baby 100% if you're not a baby? You can take some methods. You can take some. You can implement it for part of your learning, but not 100% or even 50%. It's not going to work. All right? You're not a child to absorb information like a child. We always have a child inside of us for the rest of our lives, but only partially. Hi, As. Hi, Ben Lagrip. Hello, guys. Okay, people are joining and leaving. So I don't know who heard what. If you've been here from the start to the end, I thank you. Tanjanur listening from Bangladesh, thanks. Just gonna wave at everyone. If there are any other thoughts, guys, feel free to share. All right, a smile from Ali from Iran. Hello. Okay, so I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. I've got no further thoughts. I'm going to save this live and I'm going to later upload it to my YouTube channel. If you're not following me, make sure you do follow me on YouTube. And of course, the good thing about YouTube is you can slow down the video, you can speed it up, and there are automatic subtitles generated, which can be useful. It takes a little bit of time for them to generate, so don't expect them straight away, but they will be there eventually. Okay, so any other thoughts, any other questions, guys, about learning methods, English learning methods or not? All right, so thank you all for joining. I wish you a fabulous day ahead. Lots of Iranians, hello, love you guys. You're so kind and you're so you're so diligent with your studying. Honestly, I think you're amazing. So, but have a fantastic guys day.